Yes, I see that one. Aye, that's Old
All right.
Pulteney, aye.
So that was that one, and the other one when we did the Huddart, it was, I've not put a date in, but I've got down here the 3rd of September. The Loch Nagar was the one we did, and we did the Old Pulteney Huddart after that. So that's the two that we're going to do this evening, and we'll welcome everybody to our live broadcast this evening.
That's fine. I see it.
This is a surprise for me because I wasn't expecting to be here. I was expecting to still. I've had my operation been and still recovering, but as you know, it was postponed and rescheduled to this coming week. So I'll manage this tonight, and I'll manage to get another one in with you on Sunday before on Monday the operation.
Now we're talking.
So that's us. So tonight we're looking at the Old Pulteney Duo of the 12-year-old and the Huddart. So looking forward to this.
Yes.
The Old Pulteney, it's the 12-year-old, as I said. It's a 40% strength, and it's in the American oak ex-bourbon casks is how it's done. So and they would say that this is a maritime malt. I don't think I clicked that the last time. I didn't think it was too maritime, but anyway. So let's start with the 12-year-old, which is a lovely colour.
Mm-hmm.
If I hold the two of them up beside each other, the 12-year-old, I thought that. I wasn't sure if it was just where it was sitting. 12-year-old's a wee bit lighter than the Huddart. And goodness, there's a fair bit of legs on that when you actually get that swirl. I nearly swirled that right at the top of the glass here, Clark. No, let me change that. I did swirl it out the top of the glass. So on my keyboard. That's a disaster. I'm losing this stuff. I'm flinging it away.
I didn't see many legs at all there.
You're not?
Oh no, here they come. I see that.
I was the same when I first swirled it round. It wasn't, and then all of a sudden the glass just began to fill up really quickly.
There they go now.
But yes, and let's get our first sniff of it, see what it's like.
I think we should.
We can remember what it was like. I like that.
That's nice, aye.
It's quite light, Clark. The first thing that hits you is just like a nose of oranges.
Oh, you got oranges. My first thought was a nose of honey. But I can see what you're saying about the oranges.
Yeah. No, I know that. I get the honey as well. That kind of comes through. But the first thing that kind of hits me right in the chops is
oranges.
The orange, and then kind of with a sherry honey sweetness.
Aye.
And a wee bit of, I don't know,
molasses or demerara or something.
Yes. That kind of molasses demerara. It's got quite a good nose on it, Clark. There's a lot going on. I think that's, compared to some of the drams we've tasted and nosed before, I actually think there's a lot going on in that. It takes you a wee while for your nose and your senses to pick up. And then I'm sure that once we've had a mouthful of this and we go back and nose it, we'll be able to pick up a lot more because our tongue will have that on it as well. But
there's a kind of fruity, kind of fig, maybe, kind of smells it as well.
Yeah. I think that's where that sweetness is coming from, and the sherry that's coming from. It's got that. That's nice. Like that. Nice nose.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Sure, we'll have it. Very well.
Right.
Slange, we'll have a wee mouthful of this. We'll see what we think it is on the palate.
Let's have a taste. Cheers. a lot of orange on the taste. It's kind of sucking a lump of orange peel. That's what it's kind of like. Very orange, but not a sweet orange.
No, get a wee bit of vanilla in there. I always get vanilla, as you know, but a wee bit of vanilla and toffee in there.
So I would say the toffee, aye, orange toffee. That's what I would say.
Not much of a spice to it though. Some of them we've had before. We get that wee spiciness to it. I'm getting a wee bit of that just to the kind of sides of my tongue, but it's no hot. There's no burn when it goes down. As I said, I think I said at the start this was 40% proof. So, but it's nice.
It's lovely. It's quite dry. I could go with a beer with this one, I think.
I like that. I mean, I must admit, this is Old Pulteney was probably one of the first malt whiskies I remember having many, many years ago when I first had a dram. I remember somebody introducing me to it and saying, there's 2 malt whiskies that let me try at the time: Highland Park and Old Pulteney.
Yes.
And I wasn't disappointed with either of the 2 of them, to be fair. And they were both, to be fair. The Old Pulteney, I think, was my first one I really liked, and probably the first malt whiskey that I started to buy for myself. And then I went to Dalwhinnie. I quite liked the Dalwhinnie after that. And they're very similar. They're nice, easy to drink drams. If you were introducing somebody, they wouldn't find it offensive to their taste buds or their palate or too much to their nose.
I'm fine a bit dry, but apart from that, it's
there's a bit of apricot in that, Clark. I'm getting a nice apricot flavour sitting on my tongue, right at the back of my tongue. But as for the finish on it, I think the finish is quite smooth.
It's very, very.
There's a wee warm and a wee tingle in it.
It's quite a long finish. It hangs about.
Well, aye, but there's once everything's dissipated, all that's left on your tongue is the kind of, I get that apricot flavour on my tongue and a wee bit of spice.
I'm getting a wee bit of spice back here.
Yeah.
Which is very pleasant. Very nice, aye.
Aye. That's very good.
It is, it's lovely.
Shall we leave that one aside for a minute? We'll come back to it.
Oh, well, I haven't planned this very well. Right, I haven't planned this very well because I've only brought one glass with me. What did I do that for?
I see.
I'm thinking I've got another glass here. Schoolboy error.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this one. We'll pause to allow you to reset, and then we'll do a second recording of the other one. We'll go live with the other one. So we'll just finish this off.
Right. Okay. I'm all for it.
I'm not finding this very maritime. I know it says it should be maritime. I'm not finding it particularly salty, sea airy, maritime. I would say that I would say more fresh fruit vanilla with a wee drop of spice. There is a saltiness on my tongue, but not maritime salty like I would experience if you were having something from, from Ireland or out that side of the water.
That's why I'm finding it dry. There is a wee kind of saltiness about it. That's why I'm finding it dry.
There is, but would you call that maritime?
No.
It's like you're walking along the seafront and getting a wee bit of spray in your face, rather than how I find it. The maritime one for me anyway, the way I like it is when it's really dry and salty and it's like you've had a right mouthful of sea water.
Aye.
So how would you score this, Clark? What did you think this is?
Well, I would score this well. I think. Well, I would. I'd be looking for a. I'd be giving this a. Maybe something like in the region of an 88, maybe something like that.
All right.
I think it's quite nice.
Yes, I wouldn't disagree with that, Clark. I think I would be looking at 8.8 out of 10.
Aye, it's not quite a 9, but it's
No,
it's not quite a 9, but it's a bit more than 8, I'd say.
aye, I would say that it's definitely not a 10.
Mm-mm.
We've had some other malt whiskies that we've scored a lot higher, but I think as a dram goes, I don't think you can go wrong with Old Pulteney.
No, you can't.
You know,
I've never had a bad one.
Well, I've never had a bad one.
No,
not
they've all
at
been
all.
good.
And the ones that I've tasted previously, I've never had a bad malt whiskey for Old Pulteney. So it is one of my favourites, I must admit. You know,
Yes, I can see why.
It's one that I would have always. I'd always have a bottle of this, I think, and on my shelf to go back to. So
I'm sure I have.
Thankfully, I've got half a bottle left, but anyway. But no, I do. I think it's one that I would. It's one I would just have sitting on the shelf. Somebody came around it for a night, or somebody came in to visit me, and I said to them, "Do you want a wee dram?" "Oh, I didn't like malt whiskey. Let me get you one of these."
So it's not me that's visiting you then.
Start there.
It's not me that's visiting you then.
No. To be fair, you'd maybe get a choice, right? Certainly, you wouldn't be saying to me, "Well, I didn't like malt whiskey."
No.
Either that, there would be something wrong with you. I mean, I'd be wondering if it was an imposter that had came to visit me. If you say to me, "Oh, sorry, I didn't like malt whiskey," Wally, I would be going, "Well, you're no Clark Leaper."
No, what have you done? Where is it? In the boot of your car.
Yeah. Aye.
Very pleasant. I'm enjoying this. It's lovely.
Good.
It's gone.
Are you going to rinse that glass and put the other one in it, or are you just going to pour it in?
I was just going to pour it in, but...
Right, go on then. We'll just stay where we are. Grab the bottle, pour it in. And we'll have a look at the Huddart.
Huddart, aye.
Yep. Now, Huddart's a non-age statement.
Yes. But a lot of these ones with names are.
Yep. This is named after the street in which the distillery is on. It's on Huddart Street.
I didn't know.
Aye, well, that's that's why it's called Huddart.
There you go.
I know. When I first got it, I wondered if it was a technical term for some sort of piece of equipment that you used, you know, when you were on it, you know, for turning the oats or turning the grain or whatever it was. You know, like a hod carrier has a hod. There's the boy uses a Huddart, but
it sounds like it should be.
I wasn't disappointed to find out though it was just called Huddart Street, and that's what it was. But it's funny how you think of something when somebody says to you the Huddart, and you think to yourself, "Wonder why it's called Huddart? Is that, you know, is it a brush they use, or is it a scoop? Is it some kind of thing that it's in because it huds it?" But anyway, just being a Scottish term that you hud this and hud that. So, but it's not. Huddart Street is where it is. This one, Clark, is 46% proof, so it's a wee bit more powerful than the last one. Again, oak and bourbon and ex-peated malt casks. So I'm expecting something a bit different in it. Certainly darker than the last one, not much, slightly darker than the last one. Legs look similar as they were previously.
That says a lot more legs than me.
But yes.
Nice.
Right, and let's see how our nose is with this one. See if it's any different.
Right, come on then.
Oh, aye, definitely. Aye, that's completely different.
It's very different. It is, aye. Uh-huh.
Now, the first thing I get is the honey on this one.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, there's definitely the honey
In
on
fact,
this one as
I
well.
would say it's very close to being like mead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah, I
again,
wouldn't. To me, that's not. To me, that's not quite as honey as the last one.
Right. And I didn't think it's as orangey. It's amazing just how when we do this together, you know, how individuals' noses are different when it comes to getting that nose. There's a wee bit of the bourbon cask. I'm getting a wee bit of apple in there.
Aye.
The green apple.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Aye. A wee touch of peat as well.
Yes, well, it's come from an ex-peated malt cask, so there'll be a wee bit of smoke
That's
in there.
right. Aye.
So let's see what it's like on the palate.
Apart for the honey, I would say it's very different from the last one.
It's completely different for the last one. I think nose-wise, it's completely different. For me, anyway. Do you know something? I don't think the nose is as good on this as the previous one. I think there was a lot more going on in the last one, which I quite liked. I liked the complicatedness that was in there. Whereas this one seems quite simple. Anyway, Slange.
Cheers, your good health.
Oh, but I prefer the palate of this. Maybe that's because I like a wee bit of smoke. I quite like a smoke on a dram. That's definitely got a wee bit more peaty smoke on it. That's nice. I like that.
That's funny. Right.
And I would also say this one's more salty. I would call this a maritime.
It is more
I
salty.
would call this maritime. But I don't know if that's down to the peat smoke as well with the saltiness that I'm getting.
Could be. Aye.
This is the nose I preferred to the last one. The palate I prefer in this one. The finish isn't quite as long as the previous one, but I'm left with a right salty, maritime peat flavour on my tongue.
It's a bit more spicy as well. I'm kind of numb. Right around my top lip.
Yes, sorry, I never noticed that actually. I have got that kind of.
It's kind of numb. Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. But I'm just waiting for the dentist to get his drill out. It's kind of.
I'd like to go to the dentist you go to.
We give you some of this.
I quite fancy that. You know, what are you doing there, dentist? I'm just getting you a wee old Pulteney to put on your gum to freeze it so I can work. Aye.
Aye, that would work.
I know I'm going for this bypass operation.
Aye.
And I've been advised that I get a dram the night before.
Aye.
60 mils. And 2 temazepam. So I just don't know what kind of dram I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm getting a nice malt whiskey, but on the NHS, I think it'll be. Either a famous grouse or a bottle of half a bell or something, right? But I'll not really complain because after you've had a dram and 2 temazepam, you could have been drinking any malt whiskey, to be perfectly fair. You're not.
After effects
for the moon at that point in time. This is supposed to allow you to have a good night's sleep prior to your operation.
Well, I've had a good night's sleep on a half a whiskey a few times, but
I haven't tried it. You would be about 1/2 a whiskey, to be perfectly fair. But it'll be interesting. I'll let you know We might even try it one evening.
You better get a few spares then.
Aye, we'll do it. We'll do a live tasting with 2 Tomazepam and 60 mils of malt whiskey, and we'll see. We'll see if we remember anything the next again morning. I'll be lucky if we can waiting with the next again morning once I've given me 2 Tomazepam and a dram. Anyway, no.
Did you like it? I can't mind.
Right. What operation?
No,
It's got an interesting nose once you've actually had a couple of wee mouthfuls of it. And it really does begin to, I do begin to pick up more of that apple in my nose. That's nice. It's nice and fresh, got that fresh, like green grass and green apple. It's a lot fresher now, Clark, than it was
I see what you're saying.
when I first nosed it. But again, you can't go wrong with that. This one,
less.
you smell
I
what?
smell less now than I did before I tasted it. But I know what you mean. It is. There is a sort of.
It's become fresher than it was. I feel it. I feel the nose is fresher,
but less distinct.
Yep. But again,
Nice,
as a 12-year-old was a good introduction to somebody who hasn't had a malt whiskey before. If somebody wanted to try a peated or a slightly smoked malt whiskey, this would be a good one for them to have a go at.
Aye, because it's not overpowering. It's there, but it's not overpowering as some can be.
There's a wee bit of heat at the back of your throat here, but it doesn't seem to run down in.
It's not. No, you're right. Aye, it's sitting at the back here and up.
Yep.
I'm finding it. Get in here and down there, and I could still have a filling put in just now. I think it wouldn't bother me.
I think you're slightly braver than me. I actually prefer to be unconscious when they're doing anything to me.
Oh dear.
I'm just going to score this, Clark. I've scored that. I've scored it a 91. I've gave it 3 more points than I gave the 12-year-old.
Ooh.
I do prefer this. I think the finish on it is lovely. It's just sitting on my tongue. There's a lovely sweetness.
Yeah. Right, we'll go
wee
for a
bit
90
smoky,
on that.
and a wee bit.
Sorry, I was just saying this is a 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10, aye.
It is,
yeah.
For me, it is, aye. It's a
I have to agree with you on that. It'll be interesting just when we get our comments back from those who will have watched this on our YouTube channel or have watched it on our web page to hear what people's thoughts are. I always love to see what comments come back. I get a few back on the Instagram page, but I always like to see if there's any comments in our videos. There's plenty of folk look at the videos and plenty of folk look at the stuff, and interesting to see their comments back, So if they want to find us, they can usually find us on Instagram, the Tasting Bothy. It's always interesting. I post a couple of photos. I did that tonight. There's a few people come back and said to us, I'm going to give a shout out tonight. There's a couple of things I want to give a shout out to tonight when we're talking. Cliff Mann. Cliff has been up on the island of Isla with his wife over the last week or so. He's been virtually running between distilleries. So he started. Cliff loves to run. Cliff lives not far from here. He lives equidistant between the two years, up in the Wallace Stone area, Brighton's Wallace Stone. And he's a bit of a runner. He does marathons and half marathons and things like that. So he's been running between the distilleries. So he's been, all the miles he's done, he's calculated how many miles it is for here to, let's say Deanston Distillery, and then for Deanston to, maybe up to Aberfeldy or whatever. He's been doing this and charting it. But I've been watching him on Instagram over the last week, and he's been over in Islay, and he's been at Kilcoman. He's been up to Ardbeg. He's done, a few of the other distilleries when he's been over there. He's been posting photographs and tasting wee drams and doing what he's doing. So, but Cliff has said to us, once I come back out of hospital, he's going to send us, you and I, some samples. He's going to join us and do a blind tasting. So we don't know what they are. He's just qualified as a whiskey ambassador.
Oh, really?
So he's going to send us out, join us, and have a bit of a whiskey adventure with the two years and see how we get on, which will be a laugh. Aye,
that's really good.
Surely, we're just a couple of chaps that enjoy a dram and have a chat about it on here. There's nothing ambassadorial about us.
No, it's not like we know what we're talking about.
No.
Folks will know that we didn't know what we're talking about.
At least we've got somebody who can educate us as we're going along. So I shout out to Cliffy. And also this week, I've been, after my work at night, I've got one of the managers that works with me, Carol Ashcroft. That's Carol where no Carol as a woman Carol, but Carol as a K and ARL. I know you know what I'm saying, but all my colleagues in England can't tell if I'm saying Carol or Carol, right? I didn't understand that, but anyway. So Carol has been joining me of an evening. I sent him a few samples down. He liked the Talisker Storm. Told me this when we were having a conversation. I really like Talisker Storm. So I sent him down a few wee samples. I gave him the Kalila 18-year-old.
Right. Good.
I gave him a Lagavulin 16-year-old. And I'm trying to think what else I gave him. What were the other two? I sent another two to him. Oh, the Ben Romach Peat Smoke.
You're not giving them stuff that's wishy-washy, are you?
No. And the final one I gave him was the Scapa Glanza. So all different types of peaty, smoky malt whiskies. And we, after work, we've had a wee Teams chat, and I don't know if I should be saying this on our thing because the work might be thinking, but it was outside work time. But anyway,
that's good, isn't it?
And we've done a wee tasting this week with him and chatting it through, and I also sent him 4 little dram glasses. I've got the hiccups now. 4 little dram glasses, so that he could nose it. So we've had a week where him and I. Well, he's 4 glasses for 4 different drams. Did them on the one night. I was just thinking ahead. We did it 4 different nights. But he liked the Kalila 18-year-old. He thought it was a lovely dram. But he also liked the Ben Romach Peat Smoke. One that we need to do ourselves. We've got a few because we've got the 10-year-old, the 15-year-old, we've got the Cara Gold, and we've got the Peat Smoke that we need to do at some point. I think what I'm going to do is I spoke to Keith Cruikshanks at Ben Romach maybe a month or so back. As I said, part of it's been down to the fact that they keep putting this flipping surgery back for me. But the plan was to get Keith to come on and do a night with the two of us and have a chat through some of the drams. We've got the malt whiskies here. It's not like we're asking Ben Romach to send us drams to do this. And Keith, I'm quite happy for them to do that. But we didn't need to do that. We've got them here, and I'd quite like to chat with Keith and just get an understanding from, the distillery, what goes into it. And so that our kind of viewers that join us and whatever else, they can get an understanding of what goes on within a distillery and how they put it together. I noticed today that they're launching another one in the next couple of days as well. So it's good. This is the beauty of malt whiskey. It's so diverse. There's so many different flavours, tastes, noses, different ways of putting it together, different barrels that it goes in. It's inexhaustible, I think, when it comes to going through it. And that bit I really like about it. I suppose there's other drinks that you can have that are in that same boat with, whether it be a wine or a sherry or whatever. But for me,
you've lost me now. No, you've lost me now.
I know, but for me, you can't beat the nectar of life.
Nope, you cannot. You cannot. And this is as good as any.
And just to let you know, my brother arrives back from France next week. He's coming over. Not particularly to see me. He just happens to be coming back to Scotland. He's not been home because of COVID. He's not been back for a wee while. And I sent him a wee message and said to him, "You wouldn't like to bring me over a wee brandy from Misher Ballaway, because I've not been for a while on the baby." So he said, "Spoiler alert, I've already bought it and it's in my bag." So the good news is I'll give you one of these up and maybe we'll do a wee brandy tasting.
I think we should. We should, yes.
Because it's nice. But this is lovely. I've scored this a 9 out of 10.
Right.
The other one was 8.8 out of 10. There's no much between the two of them. This is nice.
Really. It's quite hard actually to judge them in that way because they're quite different. They're quite different. But, I've enjoyed them both.
Yes. So we are going to, on Sunday night, we'll just give them a wee heads up now, taste the Cara Gold. Ben Romack Cara Gold will do.
Yep.
On Sunday night.
I hope for it.
And, very good.
It is lovely, it's nice. It's nice.
So that's our Friday night. You have a great Easter. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Yes, you too.
Whatever you're up to with your good lady wife. I hope she had a nice afternoon with your two daughters.
She seemed to enjoy herself.
Mother's Day. Catching up with them.
She enjoyed herself this week.
And since you were going to have a beer with the 2000, I suppose that's what you're going to head off to now.
I think there's a good chance of that.
Yes. Well, I might go and pour myself just another beer. Well, I've got half a bottle of Old Pulteney and I've got 3/4 of a bottle of the Huddart, so I might just even them up. I've got two
bottle of whiskey tonight. That's good.
No. I'll just take a wee drop more out the Huddart just to even it up with the Old Pulteney. So I've got 2 half bottles that are left, and I'll enjoy the rest of my evening.
It sounds like it.
So
it sounds like it.
Been brilliant. It's been great spending time with you.
That's been fantastic.
So
yeah, anytime you want to send me whiskey,
I will endeavour to make sure that there's maybe a couple left on your doorstep over the weekend, so that we're well prepared for when I get out of hospital.
I have noticed that I've got 2 empty ones here.
Have you?
So I've got 2 empty ones there, so it'd be rude not to refill them and send them back to you.
All right, that would be lovely. If you refill them and send them back to me, I've got a couple of empty ones here that you gave me previously. I shall return the favour.
Well,
since we've got the Ben Romack, Cara Gold to do, I will send you back the peated smoke and the 10 and 15-year-olds.
Oh.
So then you'll have the 3 Ben Romacs. That'll match up with all the stuff that we've got. That means we'll have all the Ben Romacs together. I'm not suggesting on Sunday that we do all 3 of them.
Oh, 6.
But then again, I could be convinced that it's the right thing to do.
Aye, it's working Monday then.
You're working on Monday, yeah?
I am,
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you've not got the eyebrows. I'm not working Monday, but I suppose I've got to phone the hospital at 11 o'clock and tell them that I'm coming in.
Aye.
So perhaps it'd be better I arrived sober. Without any...
I don't see the point of that because they're going to get half anyway.
Aye, but there might be some stuff they need me to do prior to, maybe any tests that they've got prior to me having the operation. And I don't want to debar myself when they say, wait a minute, you've got some blood in your alcohol stream, Mr. Sharp. We can't do that. We can't get a transfusion for you. And I could always say to them, well, my wife can bring a bottle in if you want to just give it to me intravenously. That would help.
That's right. So get some more of this of a Ben Romac system.
Aye. Well, that would be very helpful, because they give you stuff for the pain.
Aye.
When you're lying there and you've come to and whatever else, and they say to you, right, okay, Mr. Sharp, obviously you're going to feel a wee bit of discomfort after your operation, and we've got this wee button, and you press the wee button, and it'll give you pain relief.
A half a Ben Romac.
If that was attached to a bottle, a bottle of Ben Romac or something,
ideal.
Call you an 18-year-old.
Aye.
That would do just the trick.
So it would.
Not only would I be pain free, I would be enjoying it
as well. I'd be happy as well. That's what I'm in here for.
I know. I mean, I think the NHS needs to kind of look at how it approaches this pain relief situation. Perhaps we'll get
more money anyway.
Anyway.
Right,
pal.
anyway.
I shall let you get away. Have a great weekend.
If
I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window, as they say.
As they say. All righty.
All right, pal. Catch you later.
Right.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers.
Slange.